So today is actually the last day of 2020. As I'm recording this video, the intention was to post it today, but it's already nighttime, so it's very highly unlikely. So more than likely this video will be posted in the new year. So if you're seeing this in 2021 in the future, Happy New Year. I hope you've had a great start to the year thus far. So let's just rewind to the past because we're reflecting on 2020 right now. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Be sure to subscribe and turn the post notifications on because I do post videos on this channel every week. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me along my journey. It's been an absolute pleasure. So a few days ago we've had our last full moon for the year of 2020. It was actually in the sign of Cancer. So there's still a lot of full moon energy lingering around. I'm sure you could feel it, whether it be subconsciously or consciously. And the Cancer full moon asks us to go within and have self-reflection and introspection, which I think is very perfect to end off the year, because usually that's the time of year when everyone is doing self-reflection and thinking about the year that passed and then making goals for the year ahead. 2020, I think for all of us, was a very transformative year. 2020 really forced us to put a pause in our busy lives. It forced us to go within. It forced us to embrace our darker sides. So many things that really helped for growth and development. Some of it was quite negative, but this video is really a positive perspective on things. 2020, thank you so much for all the lessons that I didn't even know I needed. So the first lesson that 2020 has taught me is to embrace uncertainty. Life can be very unpredictable, and for our peace of mind, it's important that we release the need to be in control of things, because this life experience is so much more than our tiny little selves, and it's a lot of it is actually out of our control, which leads me to my other lesson that 2020 has taught me, which is that you don't have control over your life experiences, but you do have control over the way you choose to react to things. The only control really and truly is your reaction to something. So the third lesson, which connects with the first two, is stressing about things that is out of your control is absolutely pointless. So just let it go. Because it's out of your control, you have absolutely no control, you can't do anything about it. Just let it go and move on. Another lesson that 2020 taught me, which was one that's dear to my heart: mental health is just as important as your physical health and well-being. For 2020, my mental health took a plunge. It reached rock bottom. It got to a point where I really needed some help from external sources rather than just using the internal ones that I've been trying to use for all these years. Depression and anxiety is a real thing. Negative self-talk is a real thing that can affect your daily life. Continue to show up for yourself by prioritizing your mental health just as much as you prioritize your physical health and well-being. Another lesson that the year 2020 has taught me is that seeking help is important and it does not make you weak. In this case, by seeking help, I mean speaking to a therapist. 2020 was the year that I finally decided to take my mental health seriously, and I started therapy, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made. So if you think that therapy is something that might work for you, something that you need, please seek help. It does not make you weak. In fact, I think it makes you even stronger to have the strength to admit that you need help. 2020 has taught me that rest is productive. Rest, reflect, realign, reset, recharge. For a lot of times throughout this year, anytime I was just extremely unwell or just was extremely burnt out and overweight, and I found myself resting, I started to feel guilty about it. And I was like, I'm not being productive. I should be doing this thing. I should be planning this lesson. I should be doing this research. I should be recording this YouTube video. But rest is productive and it's absolutely necessary. And 2020 definitely taught me that. Another lesson that 2020 has taught me: while rest is productive, meditation and yoga needs to be done more. More meditation, more yoga. All of 2021, thanks to 2020 teaching me that lesson. It also taught me to be gentle with yourself. If you're unable to do it as much as you would have planned or as much as you would like to, if you miss a few days, be gentle with yourself. It's okay. Just start back. Go back on the mat. Get back on the floor. Find a comfortable seat and create that space and give yourself the time to meditate and do your yoga. 2020 has taught me that some friendships are really only just for a season. I lost a lot of friends in this year, and what I don't mean lost as in they passed away, but we just lost connection with each other. So some friendships are really just only for a season. Maybe that particular time in your life is when they were needed, and at this point in your life where you're at now, that person or persons isn't needed anymore. And 2020 also taught me that true friendships always find their way back, because I lost a friend a few years back, probably about 5 or so years, almost 5 years ago. And this year, 2020, by some strange cosmic force, brought me and this person back together, and we rekindled our friendship. And it's better than it was before. It's as if we never stopped talking. So 2020 really shined a light on friendship. Another lesson I learned from 2020 is to do more of what makes your heart smile. So for me, going out into nature makes my heart smile. So I try to do a lot more of that. I didn't do as much as I wanted to, but it has taught me that that is what is important. 2020 has taught me that reading is so important. This is not anything new to me, but wow, 2020 was like, I'm giving you time at home, so read more. I really picked up books and read more because of 2020, because we just had the time and the space to do it. So 2020 really taught me to read more. Another lesson that 2020 has taught me is to always have an attitude of gratitude and not take things for granted. I realized before this year that I took a lot of things for granted. Simple things like having your freedom of mobility to go wherever you wanted, whenever you wanted, interacting with persons in close proximity. I took all of those things for granted prior to this year. Another lesson 2020 has taught me is that I am the biggest hindrance between me and my goals. Wow. That was a hard one to admit, but I can admit it now that we're at the end of the year. I can admit it. A lot of things that I planned to do so many years ago, and I ended up doing it this year, and I was like, wait, no, why didn't I do this thing before? It's because I was holding myself back with my negative self-talk. It's so many different things. So I am my biggest hindrance between myself and my goals. 2020 has also taught me to accept my physical body and its limitation. So usually when I get sick, I get really frustrated because I can't do a lot of the things that I would like to, because either I'm in too much pain or I'm just unable to do the things, and I really had to sit with myself and acknowledge that this is the body that I chose for this particular life experience. I have to live with it, so I have to accept it for the way it is. I have to accept its limitations and try to not push it past its limits. Ooh, another one, a big one. 2020 really taught me to be adamant about setting healthy boundaries. And this is boundaries with friends, families, or working from home. I've been working from home for the majority of this year, and when I tell you, people don't know how to respect your boundaries when you're working from home. They feel because you're working from home and you have the work equipment that they can call you after working hours, they can call you before working hours, and they expect you to answer and respond. This year taught me to set healthy boundaries. So, you know, not doing work stuff outside of working hours, setting boundaries with friends. You know, if you just don't want to have a conversation with a friend and they're trying to call you, you know, not answering that call, messaging them after, you know, out of respect and courtesy, to let them know, hey, I'm just not in a good space right now, I can't talk on the phone, maybe we could text, maybe you could send me a message, maybe I'll call you back later. The same thing with families, family members, you know, setting the boundaries and letting them know, letting people know how they should treat you and interact with you. Great lesson for 2020, thank you. Another lesson that 2020 has taught me is that happiness is fleeting. It comes and goes just as any other emotion does. So basically just really being okay with what is. So if you're experiencing happiness right now, be okay with that, bask in that emotion. If you're feeling sadness, be okay with that. Don't judge yourself, don't become frustrated with being sad and think that you're supposed to be feeling happy in this moment. Just experience all your thoughts, all your feelings, all your emotions to the fullest extent. Another lesson that 2020, it hasn't taught me but it has reinforced, is the saying, what you resist persists and what you accept transforms. Really what this means is that a lot of us are just going through our lives subconsciously sabotaging ourselves because we're resisting this thing and it just keeps happening. Just like with the law of attraction, where you know, where you place your focus and you focus your thoughts on, where you focus your energies on, that is what you're going to attract, that is what you're going to get more of. Essentially the universe is unbiased, just meaning that it doesn't differentiate between good or bad points of focus. So really, if you give your focus and attention to something that's bad, the universe isn't going to analyze this thing and be like, okay, this thing is bad, so maybe we wouldn't give this person this thing. No, the universe will realize that you're focusing on this thing and just say, okay, this person is focusing on this, give them more of this, give them more of this. So it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. 2020 has taught me that everyone is really dealing with something of their own that you have no idea about, and it's not like it's your right to know, but it just really goes to show that everyone is going through something, and to just be kind, because you never know, you just never really know. 2020 has taught me the importance of being a voice for the voiceless. With all that was going on around the world this year, it was so important for persons to use their voices, to stand against gender-based violence, to stand against racism, to stand against homophobia. So many different things happened this year, and it was really important for persons to use their voices. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below and let me know what lessons 2020 taught you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn your post notifications on, because remember, I do post videos on this channel every week. Share the good vibes with somebody else. Remember not to keep it all to yourself. I hope this video finds you well. Happy New Year, future persons. See you all in 2021. Bye.